Okay, this is a preview video for Reteaching 810. This is going to be our next assignment in math we'll be going on to. You guys are probably working on the algebra readiness test right now. There's 30 problems spread across like 5 different documents. They're due on Friday. That's no big deal. Remember, it's only a 1-point assignment for placement for next year. Now, this next assignment has a few concepts I want to go over with you. First of all, we of course have volume that we're going to be talking about. We've worked with the area on two-dimensional shapes. Volume is that concept for three-dimensional shapes. For example, right now, you know how there's not that much toilet paper floating around, or maybe it is, but other people want it. So if you had a giant U-Haul truck and you wanted to figure how many rolls of toilet paper you could stack box by box in the back of that U-Haul truck, that's the concept of volume. If you wanted to figure out, for example, for some reason why, you could figure out how many boxes of toilet paper you could stick in your closet. That would be volume. Let's take it a little farther, maybe a little more strange. Volume is this concept that, of course, if you took sugar cubes and stacked them up in a room, that's volume. How many of those sugar cubes can fit in a classroom? How many of those sugar cubes could fit in the trunk of your car? How many students could you fit in a locker? Well, considering we have half-size lockers, maybe only one, but that would be the concept of volume. It's an interior space filling up with little boxes, okay? So this concept of volume basically works pretty straightforward. Now, as I walk back and forth, I can see me blocking some of these concepts, so I may have to move around a little bit and get used to it. So for Reteaching 810, the concept of volume basically starts covering 3 different shapes. A cube, or rectangular prism, all right, which is like a Kleenex box, no big deal. Basically, you're going to take the area of the base times the height of the shape, and that gives the overall volume. V, all right, basically equals length times width times height. Now, since it's a multiplication thing, you don't need to worry about what order you're multiplying them in, so to speak, because 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2. So in this case, you find the area of the base, which would be the length times the width. And then you're going to figure out, once that is, the length times width times the height, and you have the volume. Now, a cube or rectangular prism, the L represents length, W represents width, and the H represents height. Now, there's one thing. There's no pictures up here to follow along with. Don't worry. On the next one, I'm going to mirror it to my TV downstairs, and we're going to kind of go over some of those things too. Although I don't know that I want to write all over my TV, but I'm going to try it anyway. I'll just do it when my wife is not around. I hope she doesn't watch this video. That'd be kind of scary. Okay. Now, so for the cubes and the rectangular prisms, you got 3 numbers, you multiply them, you've got the volume, you're set. For triangles and cylinders, it's a little different. Now, a triangular prism basically means the bottom is shaped like a triangle. So you find the area of that triangle, which you know, and I know you remember this, is base times height divided by 2. Don't forget to divide by 2. This is the key. Find the area of the base of that prism, then multiply it by the height. Bam! What do you got? That's right, volume. Something I always have lots of. No, that's my voice volume, not the volume. You know what I mean. All right, find the area of the base, then times it by the height. That's the concept. It's pretty much the same for any one of the shapes we're working with. Find the area of the base, times it by the height. Now, with the cylinder, all right? Now, cylinder is just like a circle, but it's more like a can of soda, like my favorite beverage, Diet Mountain Dew. Ooh, or Diet Dr. Pepper. I miss the good old days. Now, it's the same thing, but when you're working with a circle, it's going to be the area, which is pi r squared, and we're using the value of 3.14 for pi, times the radius squared, all right? Once you have that, then you times it by the height of what you got going on there, and that's how you're going to calculate your volume. It's not a difficult concept. This is for Reteaching 810. I have not assigned it yet. It will be going up shortly in a day or 2 probably, okay? It's probably going to be like a next week assignment or something like that. Most of you are kind of grinding through the placement tests. I have not heard from many people. I mean, I've heard from lots of people, but still, out of 48 kids, there's probably a good solid 30 that I have not heard from. As you guys turn those placement tests into me, I'm adding that 1 point for completion to the gradebook, so please stay on top of it. All right, a final quick recap. Volume is what we're talking about in Reteaching 810. Cubes and rectangles, cubic and rectangular prisms, okay, 3-dimensional shapes, length times width times height. Boom, your volume's done. Triangle, find the area of the base, times it by the height, and you got your volume. Cylinders, find the area of the base, times by the height, and you got your volume. These formulas are, of course, in your notes that we took back when we were actually in the classroom. I'm going to be putting the homework from the Google Drive reteaching page up on a larger screen tomorrow, and I'll try and mirror that and record the same thing. Hopefully it'll show up and give you some ideas about how it's going to work. I know the first couple of days are a little weird getting used to working at home. My home life, work life separation is really strange. As stuff's been coming in, I've been grading it as it pops in, but it means consequently I've been like in front of my laptop off and on all day long and then trying to load up some videos. That long video that I have that was about 15 minutes took me a solid 33 minutes to upload. So I'm going to have to play with video length and size to see how quickly it takes me to upload some things. Do check in on the YouTube channel. I'm going to start putting some things in on there. Mr. Laura and I are going to be discussing about how to run kind of a town hall meeting on Fridays, kind of something silly and kind of fun, and see if we can live stream that as well. Beyond that, I hope you guys are doing well. Looks like it's kind of cloudy outside for me at my house. I've got my buddy here helping me out teach. If you guys remember Chuck, all right, he's been down there saying hi to everybody. All right, he hasn't been saying hi to everybody. He's been sitting there minding his own business. But, you know, it's one of those weird things. I hope you guys are doing well. Say hi to your family. Say hi to your friends. Have a good evening. Bowman.